I remember feeling really dull, burnt out, and unaligned when I quit my corporate job. I had just lost my vibrance in life overall. So when I quit my corporate career and I started Uncharted Outdoorsman back in 2021, I knew I needed to work on a few things health-wise. I definitely needed to figure out my gut health because my hormones were being very much affected by all of it, and that threw off everything. I really wanted to heal my nervous system too because it was back in 2020, now it's 2026, and healing my nervous system is top priority for me and giving it the nourishment it needs. And I've been doing that via herbs from around the Rocky Mountains that I can find on my hunting, hiking, and fishing trips. My name is Erin Kreider, and I founded Uncharted Outdoorsman back in 2021 to create safe spaces for women in the outdoors. I really enjoy herbalism, not only because my face looks completely different than what it did back when I was covered in hormonal acne, but I'm always looking at myself as a student that continues to use different things that I learned in the backcountry to keep my brain healthy and alive and continuing to learn. I am a forever student. In this episode, you're gonna learn where you should go foraging, what is herbalism, what the series of classes Shayna's built for Uncharted Outdoorsmen, where to find the herbalism community around you and within Uncharted, and how we create safe spaces for others in the outdoors.
Hey, I'm Shayna. I've been teaching foraging and herbalism with Uncharted Outdoorswomen for about 2 years, and I've been studying the bioregional herbs and wild food and medicine in Colorado for the past 10 years, and I hope to see you in class. So I guess I've always been into the plants all around me. I grew up next to a creek down in Maryland and very deep, lush forests, and my favorite memories were just going into the woods and discovering things like black walnut and being interested in what they are and asking my parents for books about these things, or seeing even in simple I Spy books. There was an I Spy plant book, and just being so fascinated about what these things were and being very weirded out by blue drinks and colorful ketchups as a kid from the 90s, and really wanting to know well, what did we do before industrialization? What were the native people eating and drinking and taking as medicine? I think that's kind of what first started my love for herbalism. Then when I moved here almost 11 years ago now to the subalpine here in the Rocky Mountains, I realized I was just surrounded by food and medicine, and I really wanted to explore that kind of bioregional nature of my area. That paired with different health problems and really wanting to treat my body as a strong vessel that I know it can be, took me onto this plant path, and I really want to give that back to all of my students or potential students, and kind of showing it doesn't have to be so difficult. It can be as simple as just choosing one plant, getting to know it, and working with it that way.
Seeing the food system break and the anxiety I felt when the world was shutting down back in 2020, I realized it would be very relieving to know basic hunting and fishing, because Colorado is made of 50% public land. We're talking national parks, state parks, BLM, national forest. Half of Colorado is public land, and I wanted to learn how to use it. When I was learning how to hunt and learning more about conservation and how that public land is funded, it is funded by hunting licenses, fishing licenses, and permits for collectibles such as plants and shrubs that are medicinal to you. Also wood out of the backcountry. It's called a collectibles permit here in the Arapahoe-Roosevelt National Forest. Dollars from these licenses go into conservation of those public lands. So that's upkeeping the habitat, painting the gates, making sure that the signs are up. But more importantly, making sure the wildlife is there. For example, pine beetle areas are being trimmed here in Colorado. Being a climate advocate, and I wanted to live a more sustainable lifestyle, I was like you. This makes sense to invest in my skill set versus more stuff.
So even if you live in a city, I really want my classes to help you engage and start to build a relationship with nature, even if it's your local city park, and get to kind of know the wild foods and medicines that might just be up the street from you. And if you want, you can join me in the backcountry. We'll get to know even more diversity that the native people here have stewarded for thousands upon thousands of years. I really wanted my classes with Uncharted to be sort of buildable. Whether you've only maybe gone on short little trail hikes, or you're an avid hunter or angler, I really wanted to show that you can take very simple steps to kind of get into foraging and herbalism. And so I kind of wanted to start my classes with a simple 101 class. Maybe you're not ready to get out in the backcountry yet. Maybe you want to sit with me in my outdoor classroom and learn, general safety. What are the poisonous plants out there? What are the kill you dead plants, or something that might just give you a tummy ache? What's something I can just eat right off of a tree or a flower, something simple that I can maybe share with my elderly family or my kids? Start there with our 101 class, and from there, we'll get out there in the backcountry, we'll get out in the field, and we'll learn about many, many wild plants, wild medicines, ways to make teas out in the great outdoors, or something to help you with your, when you fished or you hunted, how can we use the nature all around us, the food that these animals are eating, how can we put those back onto our plates? In the fall, we'll be getting into medicine making when, the landscape's nice and crispy and we're not, and how can we move ourselves in a plant path even in the fall and the winter.
I want to move with the seasons. I want to gather and grow in summer. I want to harvest and rest in winter. It brings a sense of mindfulness to me, especially in winter when none of my hormones want to work. But now I drink some of my favorite herbal remedies like fire cider to bring my body some more warmth and stay warm in the duck blind and pump up my immunity, because I really don't see very many people out here in the woods. Women need like the 3 pillars to stay in the outdoors, right? Because we're the fastest to get in it, but we're the fastest to leave. So the classes are great, but creating series of classes from very beginner, never hiked off of trail before, all the way to picking your own plants and making your own fire cider. And you buy your permit, right, to go on national forest and go take from the forest. But then to keep you in the forest and buying that permit every year, you really do need your community to bring you back into it, because no one knows better than another person that is in your community how hard it can be to, get babysitting for the day and go out there and get your girlfriend that just had a baby, get her back out on the river or in the woods. No one else can really do that. So having that community piece is so key. And making sure that it aligns with you is what we're trying to create on Uncharted.
Absolutely. I mean, we know more than anyone that it's such a boys' club out there. And, maybe you don't have a friend that loves to go hike. Maybe you're the only person in your whole friend group and, living in the city that loves to go on a hike or is really interested in learning how to fish or hunt. And you don't really need to bring that friend with you. You've said it a million times, but you can come to our classes and you're going to meet that friend there. And then
meet them there.
You don't need us anymore. I mean, sure, call me, invite me out into the woods anytime. I'm there. I know you are too.
Yeah.
But maybe you get that number, you get the, IG of the girl who's in class with you, and maybe that's your buddy from now on. You don't have to go out there alone and be worried about the bears and the mountain lions and the moose and all the things. You have your buddy with you. We're getting out there and we're doing the thing, and let us know what you find out there for sure.
So you have your community, you've got the skill set, and you've got the confidence, because now you have the education of what's out there, and maybe a couple of field guides so you know what it is.
Yeah,
you can take with you.
Got to bring a field guide, and I'm going to show you my favorite ones in class for sure. So yeah, got to have a nice thin little small one, because we already got a bunch of stuff we're packing with us.
Right.
And this is all about building relationships, not just with people, but with the natural world, and how those two things overlap, I think, is the crucial element that I really want to imbue to people. I think society, or the powers that be, so to speak, they all want us to be so hyper individualistic. So how do we break that mold? I don't think that's by building brand new communities. I think that's working with what we have. And I really hope that my classes can be an actual safe space for anyone to come in and learn, back to basics, how we can all kind of work with nature all around us, not in an extractive way, but really building a relationship with it. And I think if we look at it more as a relationship with the world around us, and we start to build those connections, not just take, we're gonna also start to treat our fellow humans that way. And so I hope that through my classes, you start to build that relationship, which will then have a trickle out effect in your own relationships with your own community, as well as within the outdoor community that I know Uncharted and Erin has been working so hard to build, and I only hope to kind of embellish upon that through relationship with plants.
If you're looking for your community in the outdoors, you can go to unchartedoutdoorsmen.com. We've linked a lot of our face groups on there. You can go to links in any of our social media bios. But if you go to Facebook, we have an Uncharted Outdoorsman community. If you simply post in there what day you're planning to go and about the area you would like to go to, other gals just like you are going to reach out and want to go with you. To learn more about what we offer at Uncharted Outdoorsman, go to unchartedoutdoorsman.com, and you can see all of our classes and events that Shayna has put together. You can even find us at a happy hour if you're looking to get introduced to your community, and you can find all of those Facebook groups that your community is already in. They're just waiting to meet you.